But we ran out of trout, so.
Is it okay if I come over?
Yeah, you're good.
He looks very interested in the food.
Yes. I didn't realize he got me that bad.
Oh.
I gotta wash my clothes every day anyway, so.
Oh.
Chickpea's beak is a lot more crusted over than a lot of our other birds, so that's how you can tell he is one of our older birds. But he is one of our most spruce penguins. I do have a shoestring in my pocket, and he loves shoestrings. Once you guys are done petting him, I will let him out, and we will play with that shoestring. He tries to eat it, and then sometimes he'll like get it down his throat, and we have to like pull it back out. But if we would let him, he would eat an entire shoestring. Specifically, black shoelaces. A couple of you guys have some darker shoelaces, so he might come and take a peek at those laces, but Chickpea is one of our good boys. So penguins will typically mate for life. In the wild, they can have more than one mate depending if their mate doesn't come back or if anything happens like that. But here, it is not that cut and dry. It is like a giant soap opera in there. They will break up, repair, flirt with each other, not pair with each other. They really don't like anybody but their mates, so they will fight anybody and everybody unless they're their mates. But from time to time, they will fight their mate because they don't realize at first who they're looking at. Oh, Chickpea. Hey, want something?
Oh, my sticker.
Got it?
It keeps falling off. Oh, he's so soft.
Oh yeah, Chickpea is nice and dry. He did not go for a bath, so his feathers are super soft.
He's so precious.
So while you're up here, you may notice that there's kind of like a film that goes over his eyes. That film is called the nictitating membrane, and it basically acts like swim goggles. So when they're swimming in the water, they put those goggles on to help them see. He sees your hair.
Oh.
He's like shoestring.
He's like dangly stuff in my face. I want it.
He seems like quite a character.
He is. He is definitely. Oh.
Here, I'll take and record for you.
Yeah, he's so.
Go ahead.
He's one of our
Go ahead.
most lively birds.
Oh,
He just wants everything that's dangling in front of him.
We noticed he has his own poster, so that
Yes,
was our
he
first
does have a
indication.
poster up there. Saba we also use for encounters. Levi and Carson, they are not encounter birds anymore. Hey, chicken. If I give you fish, you're gonna get sleepy.
Oh. Sadie, put your hair behind you.
Yes, they love sparkles and stuff like that. So they can see in color. So they can see ultraviolet, so those blue, greens, and purples. So this room is super friendly for them to be able to see all of those colors. So penguins are not equipped for flying, so they do not have hollow bones, which is the reason why they cannot fly. So they are going to be excellent swimmers. They can typically swim anywhere between 12 to 15 miles per hour. Their record depth is about 400 feet, and they can hold their breath for around 2 minutes. Oh, you see your shoelace, huh? I accidentally take this home every weekend that I'm off, and I'm like, all right, you guys are stuck without his shoelace. My husband's like, can I throw that away? I'm like, no, it's chickpeas. It's some crazy. So they do have pink patches on their feet and above their eyes. All right, you can have it.
Oh my God.
So basically those pink patches are a way that they can thermoregulate their body temperature. So if they were to get super hot, they could rush blood to those areas, and those patches above their eyes would become like a nice bright pink. And then once the wind comes, it'll help cool them down. That is another way we can tell if they are stressed out. Some of our birds, their pink patches will get really pink, and that's how we can tell them that, all right, it's time to go home. Oh yeah, that's all he wants. Well, like I said, he's 17 and he loves to play, and then Gretel's 7 and she's like, I don't want anything. So it really just depends on the bird. You got scratched? So one super cool fact about these guys is that they actually drink salt water. Oh yeah, sorry.
I forgot. You were busy taking pictures,
Yeah.
you didn't.
Just watch your hair.
Oh.
One super cool fact about these guys is that they will actually drink salt water, and then they have specialized glands to help filter that salt out, and they will sneeze the salt back out. So if you see any of our penguins sneezing, they are not sick, they are just getting that salt out of their system.
Now, can they drink fresh water too?
They don't have access to fresh water. So in the wild or here, they don't have access to it. So that salt water is really their only option. You ready to go play? At least you didn't poop in the mat, so now I don't have to clean it. It's all over me.
So you have what I want.
Do you guys have any questions? Because I went over a lot of it this morning. So Chickpea does have a mate. His mate is Plyler.
Now, have Kate and Lila ever had chicks?
No, not yet. So Plyler is on the younger side. She is only 6. And typically they don't start laying eggs until they're about 5 or 6. So hopefully we'll have some in this near future. We have only had 2 chicks born here. Their names are Egerton and Plyler. Plyler's one of them. Their parents are Maggie and Jimmy. While they are siblings, they did not come from the same clutch. So when penguins lay eggs, they will typically lay 1 egg, and then about 2 to 5 days later, they'll lay that second egg, just to increase that chance of fertility. Sometimes, most of the time, only one is fertile, but there are some instances where both are fertile. So an instance of that would be Hansel and Gretel. They were clutch mates. They were born at our sister aquarium in Gatlinburg. That's how we got them.
Are you so cute?
So all of our penguins came from other facilities. So our colony is still fairly new. It only opened up in 2020, so it's only about 6 years old. So they're still figuring it out. But like I said before, they do break up and repair, which causes a lot for them. So right now we have a bunch of stable couples, so hopefully they'll start laying some eggs for us. But with them swapping and stuff like that, it makes it a little difficult for them to lay some. Chickpea here has probably gone through one of the worst breakups that we have seen here. He was partnered with Eldon. So these guys get monthly vet visits, which we bring them in here. The vet checks them out. We do a deep clean and then bring them back. Between bringing them in here to back on exhibit, we don't know what happened, but they absolutely hated each other. They were fighting each other, anybody that went near each other, to the point where we had to like baby gate them off from each other. But now everything is fine because Elton is with Haley and Chickpea is with Plyler. Right? It's gonna stay that way, right?
And does he have feathers on his beak too?
No, so Chickpea, yeah, so it's just made out of that keratin. So they will preen each other. Sometimes Chickpea has feathers on his beak. So along with those big feathers, they also have like little tiny feathers to like fill in those gaps. So they will preen each other, and somehow Chickpea always gets feathers on his beak. But usually Chickpea will let us take them off.
You said it was keratin, but it almost looked like feathers at certain
Yeah, at certain angles. So you guys can really hear that mouth closing when he's trying to get that shoestring. So their beaks are hook shaped. So that pretty much means if that fish once you catch that fish or something like that, you pretty much have it so you can figure it out. That's why the shoestring gets stuck to hook. Which means their bites, they have 2 different types of bites. They have that preening bite where they're like, oh, nice and cute. They're just like, all right, I'll be nice to you. But then they have their I'm gonna murder you bite. I don't think Chickpea has ever tried to murder me bite before. You can tell. So like Egerton in there, he just gets a look in his eye and you're like, I'm good, you can stay away from me. He just looks at you a certain way and you're like, all right, I'm done. Right?
I've been victim of Anderson right
Yeah.
here.
Everybody has.
Okay.
I think
It's fine.
everybody has.
Yeah.
it's hard to envision a penguin attack on such a cute little penguin. There's animal
Yes.
penguins, yeah, maybe,
Yeah.
but there's.
Well, so since they are so tiny, they are more territorial, so they really have to defend their space. The bigger the penguin, the nicer they are, actually. These guys are, like I said, if they hate you, they hate you. So like Egerton and Hansel are neighbors, so all of those boxes on exhibit are their nest box, so there's just a cat box back there, so they can make their little nests and stuff in there. And Biggie and Egerton and Hansel, they hate each other on exhibit, off exhibit, anywhere, anytime. In the water, they'll just go after each other. Right?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is he the species of penguin that give rocks to their mate?
They can. So a lot of our nesting materials that we give them are like baby toys, so like any rings and stuff like that. Another big hit with these guys is lavender. We'll give them bushels of lavender. And it also makes their exhibit smell nice and pretty too. But some of them, if the rocks are small enough, they will bring the rock to their box and stuff like that. Right?
How many penguins do y'all have?
21.
Okay. Not all of them do the penguin encounter.
No.
Oh.
So we only have certain birds that can do touch it portions, and then some birds that do the painting portions. It really just depends on the bird and if they like you. So like Levi and Egerton really like men. So like if a man was doing an encounter or a paint, they would behave. If I had Egerton in here, he would be attacking everybody.
Oh.
And that's like Saba. So I love Saba. I use Saba for my encounters. The moment Chelsea goes to use Saba, attacks her, literally won't let her do anything.
Oh.
He chased her across the exhibit last week. It was pretty funny to watch.
Is Saba a boy or a girl?
Saba's a boy. Saba is Gretel's mate.
How do y'all decide their names?
Since all of our birds came from other facilities, we did not come up with the names. And then the two that we had here, they're Plyler is based on Plyler Park down the road. And then I don't know who Egerton is named
I think
after.
it's someone in Myrtle Beach.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chickpea got his name because his mom was Sweet Pea, and then
I don't remember the dad's name.
yeah,
Is it up here?
it's Sweet Pea and something. Sweet Pea and something Pea, I think.
It was definitely a P.
Yeah.
I
So
can't think of another P.
that's why if you have a baby, we gotta name it something Pea. No. But then yet again, they have their government names, and then we have their nicknames that we call them, and
That's
like we call him Chicken. He's not Chippy, he's Chicken. Right?
So some of them are more friendly.
Oh yeah. So Chickpea is one of our. So Chickpea, Gretel, Saba, Riley, Elton, Jimmy. They can all come in here. And then it also depends. So a couple of our birds, when you get them from other facility, there's a loan agreement. So then for the longest time until we redid their loan, a couple of the birds weren't even allowed to be taken off exhibit. So we contacted them and we're like, please, they're so nice to us. And they were like, okay. So hopefully they're going to start getting into the rotation too. But it just depends on where they came from and their rules for us as well. Right?
We noticed one out there who's named Myrtle.
Yes. Myrtle. Okay. Myrtle came from Gatlinburg, I believe. She is Jimmy's kid. So Jimmy has 7 kids. 2 here. I think the rest were in Gatlinburg. Yeah. There's a whole family tree somewhere. We tried to figure this out the other day. So somehow Saba and Carson are related. And it said Carson's dad is Saba's dad's uncle. So we're like, we think they're cousins? The wording was all off. And so we sat there for like 20 minutes trying to figure it out. So we just went with cousins and we moved on. Right? So these guys are an endangered species, so there is roughly only 8,000 breeding pairs in the wild. Their population has taken a 97% decrease in the last 20 years. So they are on track to go extinct in the wild within the next 10 years. So if you wanted to go see them in the wild, you would have to go see them sooner rather than later. The biggest hit to these guys right now is over-harvesting of their food sources. So their waters are supposed to be protected, but they are not. Well, you do have feathers all over your mouth. Their waters are supposed to be protected from fishing, but people are still fishing. So we do work with an organization called SANCOB, which is the South African Foundation for the Conservation of Coastal Birds, something like that. Don't quote me on it. That was wrong. It was?
Yeah.
All right. And they are currently suing the African government to protect their waters. And they just basically do rehab. They'll take abandoned eggs and they'll just help hatch them out and then re-release them to the wild. And they do super great work down there. And we do donate 50% of our proceeds to them every year. Right?